He sacrificed his entire life, his money, his future, even his identity, just for the woman he loved, but on the most important night of her life, she acted like he didn't even exist. Brain. Rohan was not a rich man. He didn't have a powerful family, luxury cars, or expensive clothes. But he had something far more valuable. A heart that loved deeply and honestly. In his world, there was only one person who mattered: Aisha. She was beautiful, ambitious, and full of dreams. She wanted to become someone big, someone known, someone admired. And Rohan. He just wanted to see her happy. Broken heart, the dream that changed everything. One day, Aisha told him about her biggest dream. She had been selected for a huge public event. A stage where she could finally prove herself to the world. But there was a problem. The event required money. Money for preparation, promotion, and arrangements. Aisha was stressed, almost ready to give up. That's when Rohan looked at her and said softly, "Backhand index pointing right, don't worry. I will handle everything." Aisha didn't understand what that meant yet. But Rohan already knew what he was going to lose. Money with wings, the sacrifices begin. The next few weeks changed everything. Rohan sold his only bike. Then he sold his phone. Slowly, piece by piece, he started giving away everything he owned. Finally, he sold his small repair shop. The only source of income he had ever known. People around him started talking. Backhand index pointing right, he is destroying his life for a girl. Backhand index pointing right, love has made him blind. But Rohan never responded. Because in his mind, Aisha's dream was worth more than his comfort. Pensive face struggle behind the scenes. He started working day and night. Sometimes he would skip meals. Sometimes he would sleep on empty streets after long shifts. His hands were full of cuts. His body was tired. But his heart still held one hope. Backhand index pointing right, one day, she will be proud of me. He imagined her smiling. Standing on that stage. And finally seeing everything he did for her. That thought kept him alive. Glowing star. The big day arrives. Finally, the day of the event came. The hall was massive. Lights everywhere. People from different places had gathered. Aisha was backstage, preparing for her big moment. She looked nervous, but excited. And Rohan was there too. Standing quietly in the corner of the hall. Wearing his simplest clothes. But carrying the weight of months of sacrifice. His eyes were fixed on her. Just one thought in his mind. Backhand index pointing right, she will look at me, just once, and I will be happy. Microphone, the stage moment. The lights dimmed. The crowd clapped loudly as Aisha walked onto the stage. She looked stunning. Confident. Shining. The microphone was in her hand. She began her speech. Backhand index pointing right, I am standing here today because of my hard work. The audience clapped. But Rohan's heart slowly started sinking. He waited. He waited for his name. For one acknowledgement. For one moment of recognition. Broken heart, the painful silence. But it never came. Not once did she mention him. Not once did she look at him. Not once did she acknowledge the sacrifices he made. Rohan stood there in silence. The noise of the crowd faded in his ears. Everything became blurry. In that moment, he realized something painful. Backhand index pointing right, sometimes you can give everything to someone and still become invisible in their story. Crying face after the event. When the event ended, people congratulated Aisha everywhere. She was happy, emotional, overwhelmed. But Rohan was gone. He had left without saying a single word. No anger. No fight. No explanation. Just silence. Broken heart, the truth comes out. The next day, Aisha overheard people talking. Backhand index pointing right, that guy who gave up everything for her, he disappeared last night. Backhand index pointing right, he sold his life for her dream. Her smile slowly faded. For the first time, she felt something heavy in her chest. She tried calling him. No answer. Again, no answer. And again, silence. Disappointed face, regret begins. Days passed. Then weeks. Aisha finally understood what she had lost. Not a fan. Not a helper. But the one person who loved her. More than himself. But by then, it was too late. Rohan was gone from her life forever after that night. Rohan completely vanished. No calls. No messages. No trace. It was as if he had erased himself from her world. At first, Aisha didn't think much of it. She thought he was just upset. Maybe he needed time. But days turned into weeks. And weeks turned into months. And slowly, silence became reality. Pensive face, life goes on. But something feels empty. Aisha continued her life. She became more popular after the event. Opportunities increased. People started recognizing her everywhere. But something inside her changed. Even in crowded rooms. Even when people applauded her. She felt something missing. A strange emptiness she couldn't explain. And every night, her thoughts went back to one person. Backhand index pointing right, Rohan. Fire unknown transformation. What she didn't know was, Rohan hadn't disappeared. He had rebuilt himself. From nothing. He started working in a small tech workshop. Then learned new digital skills. Then started a small online business. Slowly, painfully. He rebuilt his life step by step. Every failure reminded him of one thing. Backhand index pointing right, never lose yourself for someone who doesn't see your worth. And that pain became his fuel. Rocket rise of Rohan. 1 year later, a major business event was announced in the city. Big companies, investors, media. And the surprise announcement came. Backhand index pointing right, a young entrepreneur, would be the chief guest. That name was Backhand index pointing right, Rohan. The same man who once had nothing was now successful, confident, and respected. People who once laughed at him were now applauding him. Flushed face, the unexpected meeting. Aisha was also invited to the same event as a guest speaker. She entered the hall and froze. Because standing on the stage was Rohan. But this was not the same man she remembered. This was someone else entirely. Confident posture. Calm expression. Powerful presence. And for the first time, Aisha felt nervous. Broken heart, face-to-face moment. After the event, Aisha finally found him. Standing alone. She walked slowly toward him. Her voice was soft, shaking. Backhand index pointing right, Rohan. He turned. There was silence between them. No anger. No smile. No emotion. Just distance. Aisha's eyes filled with tears. Backhand index pointing right, I'm sorry. I didn't realize what you did for me. Backhand index pointing right, I thought you would always be there. Fire, the final answer. Rohan looked at her calmly and said, Backhand index pointing right, I gave you everything once. Backhand index pointing right, but you didn't even notice me. A long pause. Then he continued. Backhand index pointing right, I waited to be seen. Not ignored. Backhand index pointing right, but I learned something important. He took a step back. Backhand index pointing right. Never lose yourself for someone who doesn't value your existence. Aisha broke down silently. But Rohan didn't stay. He turned around and walked away. Crying face. Final scene. Aisha stood there, watching him leave. For the first time, she understood the true meaning of loss. Not losing success, not losing fame, but losing the one person who loved her without conditions. And now, he was gone forever. Direct hit. Backhand index pointing right. Some people don't leave because they stop loving you, they leave because they finally start loving themselves. Backhand index pointing right, and once that happens, they never come back the same. Bell. Backhand index pointing right. If you love emotional real-life stories with deep meaning, subscribe to the channel, because here every story teaches a lesson that life never explains.